we go. So I'm defining that time for exactly what I want it to be used for. And then I don't let anything get in the way of that. So here's a quick example that I'm going to make, if this one person in the example is listening to this, they're going to be frustrated with me. But I blocked off so far at the moment, between 9 a.m. and 12, like at noon, is my time to work out every day. Now, I don't do a 3-hour workout. It takes me about 30 minutes to kind of get my mind into it and wrap up after my morning client and my morning work. So then at 9 a.m., I kind of have like 30 minutes to kind of settle my mind, get myself ready. I then start my workout between 9:30 and 10. I work out to about 11:30. And then I have 30 minutes to kind of reset myself and get ready for my noon client. So that's 3 hours blocked off. It is for the purpose of my exercise and training. So that way I can take care of my health and I can hit some big goals I have here at the end of this year. Now, yesterday, for example, somebody came into the gym. They're a member. They came through the door. They came and they knocked on my door in the office. But that was during the first 30 minutes and I was getting my mind ready for my workout. So I didn't open the door. So they knocked again. I didn't open the door. They knocked a third time. I didn't open the door. They finally got the hint. And then they left. And then I got a text. And the text said that they needed to update their credit card information, their debit card information, for the payment for the gym. And they wanted to do it before they got an extra fee because they were doing it late. Well, they were already late. The fee was already going to be there. And we don't actually even charge the fees. I just give the fees back. So, but they were afraid that they were going to get a fee. Well, it was their fault for showing up late. They were already too late that day anyhow. They were a day too late to make a change anyhow. So it wouldn't have helped either one of us for me to open that door because I couldn't have changed anything at the moment. Then also getting that information from them can be done via email, text, voicemail, whatever the heck you want to do, and it can be done at any other time of the day. So between 9 and 12 was my time to work out, not my time to answer everybody else's demands on my time. So that's something I'm doing. That's within my control. So if I feel overwhelmed in life and life is just bouncing me around, pulling me back and forth, that's because I'm letting it do so. I'm not creating boundaries and deciding what I will and won't do with my time and my energy and my effort. I'm just letting everybody else decide. Well, that's a stupid way to live. You're going to live insane and you're going to feel stressed. You're never going to get what you want done for your life. So you have to create some boundaries for yourself. By the way, there's a really good book titled Boundaries that I've read in the past that helps with that. And it helps with it in more of like a Christian manner too, to where you're not creating boundaries to screw everyone else. You're creating boundaries so you can be the best version of yourself to best help everybody else. So if I let myself go, where I didn't even train, and I just let people interrupt me whenever they wanted to, I would never get the best quality of my training. Therefore, I won't get the best quality of my results and physique and whatnot. I won't feel the best in my emotional and mental health because, like I told you guys through this whole podcast, is that I use exercise as my mental health. So that's how I fight off the lazy version of myself. That's how I get excited about the new version of myself. I also try all my new ideas for my clients and my workouts. So there's a lot that goes into my workouts that has outside benefits other than just to myself. So if I let people get into that space, and that's me letting people, notice that language, if I let people get into that space, that's on me. That's my fault. And I'll be taken away from the happiness and the betterment of my life. So it's my control, my choice to set boundaries. Okay? So that's one example. Another thing that I do that kind of keeps me motivated is I have layers of goals. So I have daily goals. I have monthly goals, yearly goals, and like general, like within the next 2 to 5 year goals. So I have goals every single day that deal with personal character development. It's either things I want to do every day or things I don't want to do every day. And I literally have a chart on my phone that I check for each of the individual goals. I don't have a general checklist. Every single goal has its own check chart. And I create a check or an X if I get that day right. So I have personal character development goals. I have business development goals. And I have some other odds and ends there. But that's what I do is every single day I ask myself, am I doing what I need to do for my character development? Every day. It's yes or no. Am I doing what I need to do to grow this business? Every day. Yes or no. And I can physically see it. So I can go back through those charts and see, okay, in the month of March, I had 7 X's. That's bullshit. I don't want any X's. Let me see if in the month of April I was able to get it down to 6. Maybe in May I can get it down to 5. But I can physically see how I did. Not what I believe I did or what I'd love to believe I did or, oh, I think I did this. Bullshit. I know for a fact exactly what I did. And that holds me accountable. So I have daily goals. I have monthly goals. So, like for example, I have volume goals that I try to improve upon for my squat and my deadlift every single month. So I try to squat at least like a 1 rep max-ish, really heavy, at least once a month. And do the same with deadlifts at least once a month. And then my workouts around those heavy ones, I track the volume of things and try to increase my bodybuilding style work. Because I know that influences my 1 rep maxes. So I'm tracking all that stuff every single month to make sure I'm moving forward every month. So I don't just believe, oh, I'm going to the gym, I'm probably doing good. No, bullshit. You're just going to lie to yourself, the lazy version of you is going to win. So be serious, set real goals, track them in real honesty. And then have yearly goals. So last year in October, I tore a couple muscles in my legs at a meet and wasn't able to finish the meet. So my goal has been, in 1 year, my goal was to heal those tissues, relearn how to squat, because I actually detached one of my hamstrings. So I have to kind of like relearn what it feels like to squat correctly. And then go back and hit the same numbers that I should have been able to hit last year. So I want to see if in 1 year I can fix the 3 muscle tears and the detachment and come back just as strong. Then I have longer term goals that are related to other things too. So that's the one of the ideas that keeps me motivated is I don't take days off. Every single day there's an accountability to what I do. Every day I should work out. Every day I should have 4 to 5 to 6 meals, right? So every single meal is an opportunity to move forward or fall behind. So there's no relaxation. There's no slack. I know if I'm doing things right or wrong all day, every day, and I don't bullshit myself. There's no excuses. So one of the things I love about a check chart, okay, whether I got something done or not, there's no room to write down why you didn't do it. Okay? It's either a check or an X. No one gives a shit why it's an X. There's nowhere to put the explanation for why it's an X. No one gives a shit. It didn't get done. You don't get the results of it. It doesn't matter why it didn't get done. So if I didn't work out that day, who gives a shit why? My body will not have gotten stronger. It will not have gotten the muscle damage to eventually grow to get bigger muscles. I will not have burned the calories that I needed to. So it doesn't matter why I didn't work out. I won't get the benefits of a workout regardless of the reason. So that's why I love check charts, because there's no room to even write down the reason, because it doesn't even frickin' matter. Excuses don't mean shit. You either did it or you didn't do it. That's it. The more you live your life that way and adjust to that, you're going to be more and more successful. Okay? So that's going to be pretty much, I don't know what this has turned out to be, a rant or me just being a grumpy dude. But that's what I do to stay motivated, is I don't even think of it as motivation. It's just something I do every day because I hated that version of me that I didn't do it, when I didn't do that stuff. I have goals every damn day, all day, that keep me on track. So aim small, miss small, right? So if I aim for multiple right things every day, I will never lose a week because I'll know that same day whether I'm falling behind. So aim small, miss small. So you have to have daily goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, long-term goals. I also have attached as many meaning to my goals as possible. So I do stuff not only for myself, I do it for my parents. So my parents have invested their life into me. So they've invested part of their life into me. So what I do or don't do is a reflection of my appreciation of what they've done for me. So if I don't do what I'm supposed to do, it's like throwing away their help and saying, screw you, parents, I don't even respect you enough to use what you've done to help me. Well, I would feel like shit. I wouldn't want to do that to them. So I do it for me, I do it for my parents. I also make sure that I run this gym as good as I can for the friends and the members that are in here. So if I get slack and don't do what I'm supposed to do, this gym won't exist. These people will have to go lift at some other bullshit, horrible commercial gym. And I will have done them a disservice in their health and fitness journeys. And then also I do it for God. So God put me on earth to help people. So if I live the best version of myself, I will best be able to help people. So I will best live out my purpose in life. So that's my best thank you I can give to God for the life He's given to me. So I attach as many meanings as I can to every action. So whether I work out today, that has an impact on me, has an impact on my parents, has an impact on the gym, has an impact on the members, has an impact on God. So now, you tell me if you're going to get that workout in or not. If you're letting all of those people down, including yourself, when you don't get that workout in. So the more meanings you can attach to things, the more motivation, quote unquote, you have to do them. So it's actually, you're just going to feel more remorse if you don't do it. That's the goal. You're setting yourself up to where it's easier to just do the damn thing than it is to deal with the negative emotional feelings of not doing it. So that's what I do. So I have goals, daily, monthly, yearly, long-term goals. I attach as many meanings to everything I do as I can, and then I hold myself accountable to the standard that I want to live. So I defined my standard, and it was to create a life that if somebody saw the way I lived, if they saw the way I talked to people, they saw the way I kind of handled my free time, if I was productive and useful. Now, there are times where sitting and watching a funny YouTube video is productive because you have to take care of emotional health. So there are times when doing nothing, quote unquote, is productive and necessary. You just have to structure it and make sure it's the right volume of nothing compared to how much work you're doing. So I set standards that if somebody were to look at my life, I wouldn't have to hide much. So my goal is to hide nothing. So it's just, do I live a life that I would be proud of others to see? And I'm fortunate right now to where I live with my parents. It's just easier on rent and for other purposes. So they see what I do every day. They see when I leave for work. They see when I get home from work. They see what I do if I'm ever home on the weekends. They see if I'm lounging around the house doing nothing, or if I'm on my computer answering questions or emails, or if I'm out and about going for a walk for mental health. So if people were to see my life, am I living my life in a way that I'd be proud of? Am I living in my life in a way that I'd be okay with letting other people see the way I live? So that's kind of one of the standards, and it's mostly like myself and God. I don't really care what most people think, but I do care what God thinks. I do care what my parents think. I have a couple close friends who I care what they think, and they have absolute 100% permission to tell me if I'm doing things correctly or not in my life. And so that's kind of it. I keep an inner circle, and I make sure that the inner circle gives me good feedback, and that it's between me and God. If I'm happy and God's happy, then I'm doing okay. So I set my own standard, and I try to live by that standard. And I hold myself accountable to that standard by having multiple layers of goals and have multiple layers of meanings behind everything I do. Cool. Okay? I have no clue if this answered the question the way that the person wanted, but hopefully it was helpful. This might have turned into more of a therapy session for me than anything else. But the big thing I can say to people is create a standard of a life that you want. Decide what your daily actions would be to enforce that standard. Track your efforts towards those daily actions. Hold yourself accountable to the mistakes that you make. See if you can find a pattern to why you're making those mistakes. Learn as much as you can as needed to correct those patterns. Okay? So correct the bad patterns, reinforce the good patterns. And do that every damn day. So every day of your life is an active participation experiment. How can I do better? How can I do at least as good as yesterday? And if I feel like I'm doing worse, what's going wrong? How can I correct it? How can I control it? Okay? So that's what life is. It's an active participation experiment. It's a project. You are a project. Your life is a project. You need to pay attention to it every damn day with full attention. Okay? So if you treat your life like that, it's going to go a lot better. It can be overwhelming at first, so just take it in stages that you can control and improve upon. Okay? So, but you have to define your standard. You have to define what's within your control in life and start holding yourself accountable to it and working on it. Okay? So, if you would like to do any of this and you have any questions on how to do this stuff, my goal with these podcasts is to help the listeners. I want you to live the healthiest, happiest life you can have. So if you're struggling with anything that's in this podcast and you would like help with it, reach out to us at our email, brutalironjim@gmail.com, and I'll help you set up some standards. I'll help you figure out how to create some actions towards what you want to correct. Okay? I will not be nice. I will just be factual. So I'm not going to hold your hand and make up bullshit, whiny stuff that's going to help you feel better. So if you say you have a goal, I'll tell you what it will take to reach your goal. And then I'll give you the check charts that you can use, and then you can just go and start holding yourself accountable and go. But if you don't know what the actions are that are needed for you to take, that's what I want you to email us for. I'll tell you what's going to get you there, okay? Then it's up to you to do it. Cool. Okay, So hopefully this was helpful in some way. I have no clue. So I kind of lost whether or not this one was a good one. But hopefully it was a good one. So if you like this information, you can find more from us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Brutal Iron Gym. Also, if you like the podcast, please share it with family and friends. So the more people we help, the happier the world will be. And if you guys have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, or any topics you'd love to hear about, please reach out to us. So the podcast is for you. So the more that I know what you want to learn about, the more this can be even, more focused towards your guys' need. Okay? Our email is brutaliron@gmail.com. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.